Heard from local and state leaders. We heard from Mike Lee earlier. I want to give you a little bit of a glimpse, some of what he had to say on that.
Yeah.
And he and I have been texting just the last 24 hours. He was excited to visit Utah. He told me about this trip many weeks ago, invited me to come. I told him we would almost certainly be in session. I wouldn't be able to be there, but I wish I could join him. I've known him for a long time. I've known him, I believe, since he was a teenager when he first started this effort. And he's a dear friend. Nobody else like him.
Are you concerned as a public official about being in public in these kinds of events?
Well, sure.
Just a regular debate style that he has.
You just heard a little bit. That's just one example of what we've heard pouring in today from local leaders, from state leaders, from leaders across the country. Brian earlier shared with you a message from former President Barack Obama saying something like this should never happen. President Trump echoed his condolences for the family, talking about how he said Charlie Kirk, what kind of person he was, what kind of man he was. We'll continue to share some of those accounts with you of people describing who he was and their message to the state and to the country. Again, if you're just joining us now, time now is 4:15 here on this Wednesday afternoon. We are live here in Orem at Utah Valley University campus, where earlier today, we understand Charlie Kirk was shot dead. He was visiting this Orem University campus as part of his tour across the country. He, remember, is a founder of Turning Point USA, a right-leaning political figure. Many here today came showing up in support of him. Some came to debate opinions and different viewpoints and beliefs. But regardless, we know people today did show up. We've heard a different estimation of numbers from the low hundreds to the upper hundreds. But regardless, a large amount of people here showing up for that event today that began at noon. They lined up to speak, some hoping to get that opportunity to ask their questions, to debate with Charlie Kirk. When at 12:15 to 12:20 or so, they heard a gunshot fire. Witnesses described seeing that strike Charlie Kirk's neck, seeing him drop to the ground. We showed you that video of him being taken out of the building and then moved from campus. We heard earlier this afternoon that his condition was confirmed dead, and we've been bringing you that team coverage here at Utah Valley University campus ever since. I want to send it back out over to our Brian Wang. Again, he brought us the emotional moments from that witness who was right there and saw it all happen, and we know it has been a heavy day for so many. Brian, I'll send it over to you.
A very, very heavy day, and we've been hearing from students here describing how heartbreaking, how traumatic, and how scary that was. We've been hearing from both Democratic and Republican lawmakers about this. And you know what? I'm going to start reading tweets from people who actually knew Charlie, who was in his space, not those people out there saying, hey, we totally disagreed with him, but we condemn what happened. But people who were friends with him and who had conversations with him regularly, both on his show and on their own. Patrick Bet-David said, they just made him immortal. May he rest in peace. Michael Knowles asked for everyone to pray for Charlie Kirk. And Ben Shapiro, a very good friend of Charlie's, said, like all of you, I am utterly stunned and heartbroken and sick to my soul today. It is unimaginable to write these words. I met Charlie Kirk when he was 18 years old, a young man so eager and determined that I immediately turned to a friend and said, that kid is going to be the head of the RNC one day. Charlie became even bigger and more important than that. It was a privilege to watch this principled man stand up for his beliefs and create the single most important conservative political organization in America. But more importantly, Charlie was a good man, a man who believed in right and wrong, who stood by his biblical values. All of us will miss him, and I can't imagine the pain of his beautiful young family, and we must all pray for them. He goes on to say, And we must pick up the baton where Charlie left it, fighting for the things he believed in so passionately. And we must fight for a better America, an America where good people can speak truth and debate passionately without fear of a bullet. I weep for Charlie's family, and I weep for my country today. Most of all, I weep for Charlie. That from Ben Shapiro, a very good friend of Charlie Kirk. And you know what? So many people across the country are weeping, considering the type of platform Charlie Kirk had, the kind of message he had advocating for free speech. And yeah, look, there was a lot of people who didn't agree with some of the things he said. There's a lot of people who did. There's a lot of people who did. And more importantly, Charlie wanted to reach both of them. Turning Point USA says that's part of the reason they go to these different campuses, not so they could go somewhere where everyone's cheering him on and agreeing, but where nuances and conversations that aren't always had along political aisles can be had. And that was the mission of Turning Point USA, starting up in 2012. Just when Charlie was a teen, going out by himself with a little table, plastic chairs, with a little poster, welcoming people to either debate him or to have a conversation about him. And that's why you're seeing such an outpouring of respect and condolences and prayers from both sides of the aisle and his own circle, mourning his death.